participants to all the pharmaceutical industry sales and marketing.
Okay, so we are live, Dr. Swati. You can just, yeah, it's 11 a.m. We can start.
Thank you, Dr. Satish, and welcoming all the participants who have joined us today for learning on the topic of omni-channel marketing. There is a lot of talk around this particular topic, but still there is a lot of confusion also around this topic. And that is why we are doing our bit to make this topic clear, to engage the pharmaceutical professionals on this particular topic. This is the fourth session, as I already told, in the DTIP series, Digital Tech in Pharma series, and we are holding this series with 12 sessions. So 4 have passed. This is the fourth one, and 12 session. There were topics like QR code, microsite for pharma that we developed in the that we discussed in the earlier sessions. Mr. Saurav Das is the esteemed speaker for these sessions, along with few more speakers. And I hope you all are eager to learn more and more and enroll also to the DTIP series. Okay, Arshia, you must please join in the next sessions and register yourself. Once you register, you will get the links for all the 12 sessions that will be conducted in this series. So I'll now hand this over to our moderator for the day, Shazia Sheikh, and then we will have a wonderful discussion on omni-channel marketing today with the esteemed participants. Over to you, Shazia.
Thank you, Dr. Swati. A very pleased good morning to one and all who have joined. Before I begin, I would like to express my gratitude to each and every one of you for joining us on this Sunday busy morning. In this 21st century, we can control everything with the flick of our hand, becoming virtually digital, entirely digital, whether it's paying for something or finding out information in Google. Why should pharma industry be left alone when almost every industry is impacted by digital technology? We are today in the fourth session of DTIP series, Digital Tech and Pharma series, which is one of the most intriguing in the digital world that pharma has ever seen. For the pharmaceutical business, the series includes topics like microsite technology, search engine optimization, social media marketing, omni-channel, among many others. The fourth session of DTIP series with the interesting topic, why pharma needs omni-channel communication strategy, will be held today. With the omni-channel, pharma business may drastically change how they communicate with their clients and role players, resulting in more impactful, valuable, and meaningful engagement. The session will address utilization of various customer communication methods, etiquettes and policies for digital communication, and most importantly, tracking and using physical as well as digital mediums for efficient communication. Speaker for today would be Mr. Saurav Das, the one who has taken over the pharma business digital realm. Saurav Das is the CEO of Myrex and PharmaState Academy collaborative partner. He's an innovative project management executive with over a decade of experience in healthcare IT industry. He has been generating a lot of valuable information for pharma in this domain and has been an unrelenting supporter of our efforts. Without further ado, I turn the reins over to Saurav sir.
Thank you, Shazia. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining in this Sunday morning. So perhaps we will be having this sessions, another 8 more sessions this year, every Sunday, every third Sunday of the month. So hope to see you again and again, and thank you very much for joining. So today topic we will be discussing about omni-channel strategies or omni-channel marketing in pharmaceutical industry. So before starting, I would quickly ask anybody from the participants if they want to share anything about omni-channel. What is omni-channel? Is there anyone? Please, they can raise their hands and I would be happy. Abhishek, please. You can unmute yourself Abhishek, I would like to like you to speak about what is omnichannel, what is your experience about that?
Yeah. Hi, sir. I'm Abhishek. So yeah, omnichannel is something like you use various platforms to engage your customers. So I think this was something which was done initially. I think when retail, it started through retail. It took a foothold there, and it has gone on to other industries. And like my experience into omnichannel was during the COVID scenario, where we were engaging doctors through emails, through WhatsApp messages, webinars, and many other things. But one thing which I thought as a problem was like just superimposing what we were doing in a physical world into a virtual world did not help a lot. Like if you just superimpose your visual aids onto the emails, that was not very engaging to the doctors. As opposed to you create a content which is very relevant to the medium through which you're interacting with doctors. So yes, that has been my experience.
Right, rightly said, Abhishek. Very good. I just want to ask you further one questions. In fact, I would like everybody to collaborate over here and just put a yes or no in the chat box. The next question for me is like, is omnichannel a digital strategy? Can you please quickly put it up in the chat box?
Yeah. So is omni-channel a digital strategy? Very, very important question to understand. Kindly put in the chat box as yes or no, whatever you understand it as. Is it a digital strategy or no, it is not a digital strategy?
Yes, so
So
mostly the
just
answers are coming as yes. Yes, it is a digital strategy. Few no's also, but yeah, mostly it is yes. It is a digital strategy.
okay. Sure. Let us do one thing. We will quickly share the screen and we'll try to understand. Okay, so today's session, why does pharma need omni-channel communication strategy? This is the fourth session in DTIP series. Let us understand the market first. Today, 53% of the marketeers with multi-channel experience hit their financial target. 87% of the startups considered omni-channel marketing as their vital strategies, and they have been implementing it. 9.5% increase in annual revenue, that is with the help of a robust omni-channel engagement. This was the report for 2021 in the e-commerce industry. And the biggest factor is like 89% customers were effectively retained with the business because of the omni-channel executions. So with this statistics, let us quickly understand what a channel is. So in digital marketing, the channels are the different platforms that can be used to reach your target audience. And it is not only about your brands or your products or service, but it can be about the customer supports also. So any medium that you are using in your journey, digitally or physically, is a channel. So omni-channel is not about only the digital perspective, or it is not about only the physical one. Omni-channel strategy, when it is implemented in an organization, it is about having a harmonious collaborations between your physical as well as your digital communication channels. There are two concepts actually. So we probably like multiple times what happened, like we make ourselves present in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, WhatsApp, emails, physically. And we think that, okay, we are in an omni-channel environment, but there is a thin line of difference between omni-channel and multi-channel. So first, let me take you to what exactly is multi-channel. In multi-channel marketing, channels like your like your traditional channels like TV, newspaper, website, email, mobile phone, social devices or social medias, or maybe a direct mail, etc. They are entirely separated. You are available over there, but they are separated and disconnected, and they work independently of one another. So you can have your presence in all those channels. So if you are having your presence, you are already multi-channel. But what is the major difference between a omni-channel and multi-channel is omni-channel marketing provide your customer with multiple marketing channels, but in an interconnected, interactive, and integrated manner. So when I'm talking about it, so your brand communications or brand messages, whatever is there, it is seamlessly same across all the channels. So no matter your customers, wherever they are entering, they will be getting the same experience, in fact. Let us quickly understand a couple of differences between omni-channel and multi-channel. So when I'm talking about omni-channel, it put customer at the core and enable an entirely consistent, unified experience at every touch point. No matter if the customer is getting connected through mail, through physical visits, through webinars, through events, through social media, through WhatsApp, our communications and the touch points are very, very consistent. And whatever, it is actually experience focused. And wherever, like multi-channel aims in the maximum engagement. So no matter what is the brand communication, but we just want multiple people to come and engage with the brand. It is something like we can have our presence in the multi-channels, in fact. And multi-channel aim in getting the maximum engagement using the maximum possible number of channels. The next difference will be omni-channel include multiple marketing channels which are interconnected and interactive with each other, whereas the multi-channel is independent and disconnected from each other. So omni-channel is all about your customer experience and multi-channel is all about your customer engagement. So there are two differences actually. So when we are launching a brand, when we want more eyeballs in our brand and more people to talk about it, we generally go ahead with the multiple channels. We make ourselves available, the brand, the company's image, we make it available in different mediums, and that drives the customer engagement. Once the customer engagement is driven, we generally think about a customer experience so that at least within the entire journey, no communication gap is there with the customer. And that is called as the customer experience. And we drive that through our omni-channel strategy. Let us understand this slide. So there will be many companies. So how Pharma is interacting with the customer right now. Face-to-face visit has been the primarily, it has been since decades. So face-to-face visit is here and it is supposed to stay. In fact, apart from that, during the COVID time and prior to that, some companies have already started remote visits, e-detailing. There are some SMS, advertisement, and some other campaigns. Companies have already started email broadcasting. Companies have already started some events and conferences. So this is something which is going on, either sponsoring a conference or going to the events. Companies have already started and brands have already started going ahead with the microsite and their brand specific website or company specific website. Some of the pharma companies have already started using mobile applications for ailments or for patient centricity, or maybe for the doctor's engagements. So there are different kind of mobile applications which are already there in the public domain. Social media or social network have already been leveraged. Many companies have already started using Facebook, Instagram, Twitter handles, along with that like Quora and different other social networks which are available. Messengers and WhatsApp are one of the key important factors for communications, wherein the field force, they directly communicate with WhatsApp and messengers. Nowadays, webinars are very common, wherein pharma companies are sponsoring CMEs or scientific informations, any kind of journals or any kind of events on webinar. Apart from that, video content has been created for brands as well as case studies and maybe testimonials from the customers. So these are the different ways wherein pharma companies are interacting. Okay, predominantly F2F visits will be more than 60-70% at this point of time. And that has not declined, or rather than the COVID stage, like the lockdown phase and other things. So face-to-face visit was hampered, but the other mediums are equally contributing. So the percentage of the uses of this type of mediums or channels for interactions may vary from companies to company. But the fact is, majority of this channel has already been leveraged by pharma companies. And all these channels are working in isolation at this point of time. So this is particularly an example, a typical example of a multi-channel marketing impact. So what is happening in this era? Suppose we have launched a brand in pharma. We have face-to-face visits for that. We are doing the detailing part. We are also into the email broadcast. We are into social networks. We have been sending WhatsApp messages. We have some mobile applications supporting that brand. So now we are expecting our customer to see all this information through different channels. They are seeing it, but we don't have a mechanism at this point of time to interconnect or maybe, to address the communications gap between platform to platform. So when we will be in an ecosystem wherein the customer is entering from a social media, going to a microsite, we just give them a seamless experience that wherever he has left from social media, he can start it from the microsite. So in fact, to know this, we need to have a robust system, processes, and along with that, the infrastructure for omnichannel. So what is advisable for pharma? All these channels which have already been there, they can have a tightly integration or tightly coupling between all the channels, so that if a customer is entering from any of the channel, and along with that he's shifting the channel to some other multi-channel part, the communication doesn't lag away. Just for an example, our MRs and sales team already have a field force management applications. How many times does we take a feedback from the doctors? And if we are taking a feedback from the doctor, maybe after an event or after a conference, is that feedback getting, translated, or, it is getting translated into a proper message and it is coming to your marketing team? No. The thing is, like, there is no proper mechanism to capture that. There are a lot of things which is getting manipulated. So if we have a system, if we have automations on top of it, we will be able to manage these conversions better. We will be able to serve our customer better. And this is the reason why we are focusing on omni-channel strategies as of now. What are the benefits of using an omni-channel for pharma? So key 4 benefits is better user experience. Thus we can ensure enhanced relationship with the doctors, with the patients also. And this is not only like, we can have it for the consumer as well as the customers also. The second thing is like a cohesive brand strategy and identity. So no matter which channel we are using, whatever channel the informations are floating from the company, the identity of the brand and along with that, the strategy remains same across all the channels. So that if the consumer or the customers are reading about it or they're getting an experience about the brand, it is not different from Instagram or WhatsApp or physical communication. So your visual aids, your LBLs or any kind of communication on the social media should be same across it. So these are the benefits of omnichannel. This definitely help in increased revenue because we are tapping on a major mass which is sitting on internet and they are seeing it. So definitely we are going ahead with a hyper reach, in fact, with the increased reach. And when we are in the increased reach, we can experience increased revenue. And apart from that, when we are sitting on a bulk of data, in fact, if you have a channel to collect those data, to analyze those data will be very vital in understanding the customers, in understanding the behavior of the customers. Hence, we can do better analysis, real-time analysis, so that what is working, what is not working in Omnichannel, we can quickly change it and we can put up the revised strategies in front of the customers. Quickly, 5 steps. These are the 5, what you can say, steps or milestones, or these are the 5 parameters to start a omni-channel marketing. The first stage is data collection. And perhaps this is the very vital step. If you are collecting the data from the market, from different sources, the first-hand applications, so you need a mechanism to store that data internally, because these data will be the raw files or the food for your analysis, in fact. So the data collection mechanism, you need to figure it out. Once you have a proper data and how you are collecting this data, that should be something like not a prompt-driven approach. You can have that experience differ from brand to brand, or strategies to strategy, or maybe campaigns to campaign also. You can have a different data collection mechanism wherein you are asking customers silently about some of the information which is willing to give up. Once this data is there, the second phase will be the data analysis part. You can analyze the data, you can personalize the data, you can have the data for different channels, different timings. So there are many vital analysis which can be done with the set of data. The third phase of omni-channel marketing will be customer journey mapping and profiling. So every customer nowadays, like with multiple devices, we are on laptop, we are on mobile phone, we are moving here and there. So there are outdoor advertisements, there are mobile gamings, in fact. So the journey can start from a laptop and end from a mobile also. So when you are talking about a omni-channel strategy, the third phase is like identifying those people who are using multiple medium to see your messages. Those are the real customers. In fact, they are interested, so that we can think about like they are seeing it from different mediums. Mapping those customers' journey, mapping the timing and tracking them, and along with that, just creating a persona of the customers through omnichannel will help us in our existing strategy as well as any of the new upcoming strategies or brand launches, in fact. The fourth stage will be the brand guidelines. What all colors, parameters, what messages, what contents will be going into the brands and in different channels. We can set it up over here in the fourth part, which is the brand guidelines. And the last part is testing and optimization. This is the continuous process. If something has worked in past, it doesn't mean that that strategy will be working in future. If something has worked with one product, it doesn't mean that it will be replicating with the other product. However, it will be a good benchmarking to start the campaign for new products. But excuse me. But the continuous testing and optimization is required into your strategies as well as your omni-channel marketing. So these are the 5 steps: data collection, data analysis, customer journey and customer profiling, brand guidelines, and your testing and optimizations. Now, quickly just have a quick recap about what is multi-channel, what are the advantages, disadvantages, weaknesses. So above you can see multi-channel, below it is omni-channel. So let us talk about the brand tactics. Multi-channel is all about the quantity and omni-channel is about quality. Multi-channel focus on reaches, like it reaches a user through maximum number of channels. But in omni-channel, we give user a seamless experience across every channel. What user get? Brand is on every channel, but each channel may have different messaging. So in multi-channel, all the channels can have a different messaging, different content. But in omni-channel, if we have a messaging that should be consistent, irrespective of the channels. what statistics says, 95% of the marketers says multi-channel is important for targeting. However, company with an omni-channel strategy retain 89% of the customer, and that is something very important because slowly and steadily you are always going ahead with the brand recall with the customers. So 89% it has been in, although this is the benchmark of e-commerce industry, but in pharma, we can definitely expect a better brand recall, a better relationship with the customer with omni-channel strategies. Weaknesses part, multi-channel doesn't use the advantage of multiple channels in tandem. It does not use. So suppose we can have Facebook and Instagram interconnected. So we generally don't leverage that part. But in omni-channel, it must be used with an analytics platform because to personalize or individualize the experience of user, we need to have the analysis. Only using a omni-channel may not be sufficient to get the reports or analysis out of the data. Finally, the result. Multi-channel is fragmented, it is inconsistent, it is an inconsistent experience, but omni-channel is seamless and it is a very delightful experience. So the final key takeaways. There are 3 takeaways. In fact, I'm to summarize this session. In fact, an omni-channel marketing allows team to meet their consumer where they are with the right message at the right time. So this is important, with the right message at the right time. So that is the reason why we are going ahead with omni-channel strategies. Through omni-channel marketing, organization can deliver an unified customer experience that acknowledge previous touch points along with the customer journey. So it is something like, for an example, we just take an example of Amazon. Must have used it, and Amazon has used omni-channel to the fullest, in fact. So suppose you are shopping something in Amazon, you are searching for something, and you added it into the cart, but somehow you didn't purchase it. You didn't pay that amount. So what happened after 4 hours or 12 hours, that is defined by Amazon, and it varies from person to person. There is a notification, there is a message, there is a mail coming in that like, hey, your cart is waiting, check out now, and they will be giving some offer that you will be getting a free delivery or something. So this is something like one action when you are doing it in a application, mobile application, or maybe a web application, and you have left somewhere, analyzing where you have left and taking you to the decision from that point itself. So this is the power of omnichannel marketing, and this is the power of technologies and tools which are already available in the market. This not only fosters the brand awareness in the mind of the customer, but also leads to improved engagement, increased return on investment, and sales. And definitely it increases the customer retention and loyalty. Yeah. So the summary is, now pharma companies have already started using multiple channels for the communication part. Now we have to to have a unified message, to have a consistent tracking of the message, and to properly serve the customers. We need to think about omni-channel strategies from now itself. The time is now. Yeah. Thank you very much. This ends the sessions over here, and I'm stopping the sharing, and Shazia, we will be opening this session for discussions.
Such an informative session by Saurav Das. Thank you, sir. On this, I would like to take some questions from the audience from now. Sir, first question is from Chayan Pushpilal. The question is, can we take an example of DocFlix app, innovative of mankind, as an omni-channel marketing strategy?
Okay, the DocFlix app, although I have not used the application to the fullest, but the only question is, like, I have heard about it is the Netflix of doctors, and mankind has launched it recently, I hope a month back. This can be one channel for them but I'm not very sure how they will be implementing the omni-channel experience from Docflix to the regular communications. So I'm not very sure about this application. It is a new application, yet to see. I have seen that some interesting videos are getting created. Perhaps a good start, but for me at this point of time, it is a channel, something like a mobile applications with some usability, like the users part is the video part. Need to understand that it itself, like it is allowing other people to communicate, or it is a internal brand strategies, or it is an internal communication tool. How they are using it, that is still not clear to me. Maybe we can see it like after it getting established.
Thank you. Other than that, someone has just raised a hand for the question. Arijit Chaudhary, you can unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Richard.
Yes, you are.
Yeah. Sir, I just wanted to ask you, so supposing as a head of sales and marketing and business development, now, if somebody asks you that how you are going to increase your revenue by digital marketing, now, if you take into consideration both the multiple and the omni-channel, then sir, what do you think would be the better strategy for instant, means for short-term strategy, which will be better, and for long-term, which will be better?
See, when you are going, Arijit, nice
Yeah.
question. But I would like to like answer it in a different way, Arijit, and you
Okay.
can be on unmute so that at least it can be a discussion. Arijit, when you are going ahead with a new product launch, perhaps you have the like. Let us go back to 5 years back. So we only have a couple of things in our hands. So we will be going ahead with a direct field visit, direct doctors or seminars or many conferences, and we will be setting our expectation about the product and the science behind it. So this was the common strategies which every company has been doing till now. With the rise in digital, so digital marketing has come up. I'm not very sure why companies are thinking about like digital will be immediately a tool for them to generate revenue. One thing should not do in digital always is like we cannot go and shout every time that we need revenue, and we don't want to sell it. Rather, we would really want to establish the digital channel as a medium of communications. And this is something like every marketer will be agreeing with me how vital is a doctor's time, how vital is the communications, and how vital is making a good relationship with doctor and the brand. In fact, once that relationship is set up, then we can expect about the ROI, the business, the sales, the support, in fact, from the doctor's part. Short-term part, when you are talking about it, there is no platform. There is no platform wherein you will be going and putting it up. And this omni-channel should not be a short-term strategy. It is not a channel wherein we can go ahead. It include your physical, it include your e-detailing, it include the available platforms. It can like available platform in the market. And along with that, it can also have the new upcoming platforms which are there. So when you're tying up this strategy, this is only a small part of your digital marketing strategies, in fact. So making yourself available in multiple platforms, addressing your customer through the platform the customer loves. There may be customers or doctors who are not giving you time physically, but maybe with this omni-channel strategy, they will be happy to address or discuss over mail. We need to figure it out. So it is not about sales always. It is not about the revenue. I understand at the end of the day, any company, they have to sustain on the revenue part. But when you are talking about the omni-channel or multi-channel as a strategy, we are just trying to establish the technology as well as the communication channel over here. Arijit, any doubt? Or are you with me on this?
No, you have put it perfectly. In fact, that is the thing. As a head, I am also trying to establish that nothing will happen with just snapping your fingers. It is going to take
Yes,
time. But
absolutely.
I agree with you fully we need to integrate all our digital marketing as well as this face-to-face visits. So the importance of both are equal, I think. So thank
Yes.
you very much, sir.
Yes,
Thank you
Arish,
very much
one
for
thing, being the head of
please.
the department, in fact, one more thing is like everybody over here will be agreeing with me that there is a lack of communication, there is a loss of communication, in fact. If a doctor is giving a feedback to the MR, how many feedback reaches the topmost management team or the marketing team?
Right.
I think that get manipulated, that get biased, and only selective communication are reaching out to you. Understand a
Right,
situation,
right.
let us assume a situation wherein a doctor sending a message and it is directly getting accessed by the HO, and
Right.
the person who is supposed to address it the best. Suppose he is asking about any scientific informations, which the MRs and the sales team doesn't have. Can we have a mechanism to put that question directly to the medical team? The answer is yes, through omni-channel strategies. And if you're trying to build it up, these are small steps, and these are small milestone in our bigger goal of the revenue part. And it is not about revenue. Now the time is for relevancy. So either we are relevant or we are not. And those who are relevant, they will be sustaining. Those who are not relevant, at least I know they will be getting a tough competitions from the market itself. And
In
digital is
fact,
something which has always been driven by the customer.
actually, sir, I was talking for say diagnostic center. It is not directly pharma. So that is why I wanted to know, because I was just put this question yesterday only, that how, regarding my experience in digital marketing. I am basically a pharma guy. So my experience in, because I have launched Flipkart Health Plus, sir, in Kolkata.
Okay,
Uh,
okay.
so they were asking me about my digital experience. So I shared with them that I am basically a field guy, but my experience with digital marketing, like you have said, regarding the content and all that, I had helped, of course. So no, immediate question was, how do you generate revenue? So that
Yeah.
was my thing. Thankfully, I had this session with you today. So my thing is, reaffirmed that, I am correct in my approach. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
To add here, Saurav, I think you were talking about voice of customers. When you were saying that the feedback from doctors, even through the software that we are using, is not getting to the management or to the people who can take action. So the voice of the customers, the patient centricity that we talk about, I think you were touching that point, right?
Pardon?
The voice, is my voice?
Yeah. Please tell me.
I was just listening to both of you, and I was thinking that you were talking about voice of customers thing that
Absolutely.
happens, right? Even in the physical visits, the voice of customer is lost when it is going up the pharma marketing teams.
So we are increasing the touch points, right? And when we already have a hierarchy. The MR will report to ABM, ABM will be reporting to RM. So this hierarchy is already there. So in a digital world, it is something like if you have a channel already established, and if some customers are messaging you, it is something, it is breaking the hierarchy and it is going to all of them. So this is a wonderful example wherein like you can at least ensure the right words from the customers are at least getting communicated to the right person at right time.
Yeah, right. So, Mr. Abhishek Singh, you can go ahead.
Hi, good morning, Saurabh sir. Yeah, my
Yeah,
question was like focused on the operational technical point of view. So it's like a three-part question. So please bear with me.
yeah.
So I would just like to know, apart from the business stakeholders, the commercial stakeholders we have in omnichannel marketing, what are the internal stakeholders or the like from the technical team who are the stakeholders? And like for omnichannel marketing, would agile methodology be useful or a waterfall? Like we see in banking, we have a lot of scrum masters who have come in and they are changing the way the technology is being delivered. So is the same way that can happen in pharma? And the final question was, what was the process for user acceptance testing and end user testing in Omnichannel in Pharma?
Okay, so let me answer the second question first, wherein you have asked whether it will be agile methodology or else a waterfall methodology. For those who don't know over here, these are the software related terms when we go ahead and develop any project. So these are project management or project development methodologies. Earlier, we were going ahead with a waterfall model. So step by step, we were doing it. So there were no iterations actually into changing into the waterfall model. But agile model, when it evolved as a model, so it is something like there are scrums, there are sprints. In fact, we develop the project and we have a revisit, before agile, there was spiral methodology also. So when you are talking about a project implementation of Omnichannel, the development of the product can be into agile. Waterfall also suits you if you have time, that is perfectly fine. But when it is an implementation strategy, so implementation will not be falling into waterfall or agile. You can have your own implementation strategy, because we cannot be very sure like which channel is giving us the better result or which channel is not giving us a better result. So the second question was like when you are talking about the agile methodology, you can be agile in nature. Your team can be having an agile mindset in adapting to the change. And change, what is happening? Communication is not getting changed. Only the channel and the medium of communication is getting changed. And being a brand manager or being a IT analyst, or maybe being a strategy person, if I'm understanding from the market that which channel is getting addressed, or which channel is yielding more results, I will be focusing on building that channel in a better manner, right? So this is a constant evolution. Waterfall and agile will be falling into the software development part, but not on the software implementation or the strategy implementation part. Abhishek, the second, please repeat me the third questions. Is Abhishek there? Swati? Shazia, is Abhishek there?
Yeah, he is there. Just a sec. I'm just unmuting. Yeah,
Yeah.
Abhishek. Yeah.
Hi, sir. Yeah, my last part of the question was like, what are the processes we use for like user acceptance testing or end user testing before like deploying it through the end, like to the customers? Actually, we need to test it, and you also said that testing is important, like continuous testing.
Yeah, so testing, or when you're talking about user acceptance testing, so UAT part, or maybe you're talking about a unit testing, or maybe you can talk about the integration testings. So these are again the software development methodologies. Once the software is out, we generally go ahead with the user acceptance testings and other things. But when you're in the market and doing the campaign, so considering the interest of the audience over here, many people are from the pharma sites, not from the IT side, and this can be done by the IT vendor part. But just to make you understand, if you are launching any campaign, if you are launching any channel, there will be A/B testing. So which is like the alternative testings. You can test your campaign, which campaign is running good, and every platform is providing A/B testing. So A/B testing will be a better options in judging the campaign. And when it comes to the technological development, the technology or the product development, then it comes the UAT, the integration testing, the unit testing, and other testing assurance parameters. Yeah, Shazia. Abhishek, did you get the answer? Is that fine? Okay, Shazia, we can go to the next question, please.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
So let's Shazia's line disconnected actually due to some internet issues. So I'll be taking the questions. So Mr. Jay, you can ask the question. You can unmute. Yes, raise the hand. Mr. Jay.
I think I'll take up questions which are coming up in the chat box.
Yes, that will be better.
Can you share an example from pharma company where omni-channel or multi-channel strategy helps in building a brand awareness and more of brand recall in customers' mind? Example, I think anonymously you can take up, Saurabh, if you.
No, who has asked this question?
This is from Mr. Shardul Singh.
Yeah, hi Shardul. So the question, when you are asking about any example of the pharma industry, silently, unknowingly about the omni-channel or the multi-channel, we have been using channels. That is for sure. During the COVID time, many companies have started using WhatsApp, messages, emails. Along with that, we all of us now have a Facebook page. We are taking Facebook messages. So unknowingly, any company, whether it is a startup, a small company with only marketing agenda in a small in a state, or a big MNC or a global company, they have already started making themselves available in multiple channels. And multiple available channel as of now, when I'm talking, physical visit is one part which every company is doing. Events and conferences are the second part, which majority of the companies are participating. When I'm coming to the digital part, emailers are something which, like I have seen many companies going ahead with periodic emails, newsletters, scientific studies. So these type of mailers are already being sent to the customers. Apart from that, we have seen some companies going ahead with SMS marketing, and beautifully done with some companies, like when a doctor is not giving times and the patient, Emma was at the doctor chamber and he is just clicking on his Salesforce application as a missed visit. So Omnichannel has been integrated in such a way, like messages as well as a mail going to the customer that I tried visiting you at your place and you're not available. Kindly give me a suitable time, or maybe we can redirect them with some click to actions from the mailer itself to the microsite or some actionable item also. So these are the different channels which has been already placed. But at this point of time, when you are talking about the MNCs companies, naming a few like maybe Pfizer's, maybe JSK's and other big companies, they're still trying to evolve on the omni-channel customer strategy. Just imagine a situation. Suppose you have a territory, for an example, Hyderabad, and I was the MR in Hyderabad. I have been talking to multiple doctors, communicating with multiple doctors. Suddenly I resigned. I'm not in the organization anymore. Somebody else is coming and joining me. What are the chances, like what all commitments or communications that I have done with the customers is getting properly transitioned to the new joining? The chances of that being very less in current scenario. It is something like on customer to customer basis, a new relationship again built up. What if we have a track or we have the data about what Saurav has already informed the customer when he has visited, what all are the different touch points that Saurav has touched upon with the doctors. And if that happens, the company is no more a person dependent company. The company will be a process dependent company, so that there will be minimum lag between the communication part. And this has to be established. We will be seeing it. See, unknowingly, till now, nobody talked about, like in the industry, like, these were the buzzwords, omni-channel, multi-channels, but unknowingly, every company is using mailers, every company is using physical visits, e-detailing, and along with that, other social media channels, WhatsApp also, right? So unknowingly, we are already in the ecosystem. What Omnichannel is providing is that unique or communications across all the channels, so that it can yield a better customer results or customer satisfactions. So imagine yesterday, suppose a doctor, dropping a WhatsApp message to a MR. What is the chances that the WhatsApp message is getting tracked and it is going to the head office? No. If it is getting tracked and it is having a doctor's, footprints, or maybe something like a doctor profiling, so you can understand that, okay, this doctor has asked for this type of informations from our company on this date and this time, and when we have done any actionable item. So this will be backed with technology, in fact. And yes, we will be seeing lot of omni-channel strategies in the market. At this point of time, industry is majorly into multiple channel, and they are actually stabilizing on the different channels to operate. In fact, their SOPs. In fact, the standard operations is going ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Saurabh. A very interesting point that you put, that currently the industry looks like people dependent. What will happen when an MR leaves the company, joins another, and how omnichannel is going to help the company in this domain. That was very interesting. I think it will need a lot of discussion.
We will be process dependent rather than people dependent.
People dependent, right? Mr. Ajit has raised hand again. Mr. Ajit, can you unmute and discuss?
Yes, sir. I hope I'm not bothering you too much. I
No, no,
just
that's
want to
perfectly
know.
fine.
Yeah, Saurabh sir, one thing. Now, our original definition of OTC and prescriptive brand was that, you cannot advertise the prescriptive brand. Now, with the advent of digital marketing, does this change the definition of the
No, no,
respective brands?
still there are platforms. This is something, a policy part of the platform. You still cannot advertise the RX brands, in fact, right? So Facebook doesn't allow it, YouTube doesn't allow it. They are all internal policies about, and there are strict policies about it. But there are some other ways wherein we can have the messages, maybe we will not be talking about the RX brands or anything, but yeah, we can talk about the molecules. And that too, we can talk about a one-on-one part. So it is something like we are not posting it on our Facebook wall, but yeah, if we are in a relationship with a customer and a doctor with Facebook Messenger, we can put that in a one-on-one messages also. And RX is possible in one-on-one communications. One-on-one communication, which are encrypted communication like WhatsApp also, we can put it over there also.
Thank you so
But
much, sir. Just one more thing. Now,
yeah,
regarding supposing we are using digital marketing for patient awareness. Now,
good.
do you think that this is a win-win for all, the company,
Absolutely, it will be a big
doctor?
win.
Yeah,
It will be a big win. And if you have a strategy, if you have a product to engage doctors also into the ecosystems, then definitely it is a win-win for three of them. So patient results, patient data seamlessly going to the doctor without pharma getting into the picture, without pharma getting the data. And at least a communication channel is established wherein you're touching upon the patients, you are advising or guiding the patient to the doctors, then it is perfectly fine. It is perfectly fine. It will be definitely a very value-add services. But yeah, one more thing, in the similar therapy, multiple companies need to think about having a common strategies and going ahead. So if every company goes on, like suppose for an example, oncology. And in oncology, suppose 10 companies are there now, and they all develop an app wherein they are collaborating with the doctors, collaborating with the patients, and doing that. So this is something like every company will be thinking of going ahead with the app, and patient and the doctor will confuse what to use, what not to use. So here, the example is like when there were in telecom industry, I will be telling you, when there were competition in the telecom industry, what they do is like they formed a consortium. There was a big war between how they will be going ahead with the towering business. So there was a company formed with a consortium of Idea, Vodafone, and Airtel. It was called as Indus Tower. That itself is a big entity as of now and the largest towering company. So three companies come together. They went into a joint ventures and they focused on the pain area. In fact, so I can imagine a situation where all the biggies coming together and creating a platform focus for the onco, and everybody is leveraging that platform, then that would be a better approach altogether rather than just only going ahead and competing in the ground.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. In fact, I'll take this up just one more minute and compliment Dr. Swati and Dr. Satish for giving us such a wonderful platform for upskilling ourselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Arjun. So, Mr. Arjun, would you like to ask the question? You have raised hand. Otherwise, I will take other questions. Okay, let me take one question from Mr. Abhay. The question is, most of the time doctors are very busy. And in this situation, how omni or multi-channel can be effectively implemented?
So Abhay, you are here. What do you mean? Can you please unmute yourself and can we have a word, please, Abhay, if you are there?
Yeah, he's there. Abhay, can you unmute, please? Can you discuss? So,
okay, let me take the answer, Satish, if he is not available. In fact,
sure.
See, doctors are busy. We need to understand. See, earlier also there were 24 hours. Now also it is 24 hours. What is keeping the doctors busy? Earlier also there were patients. We can say now there has been an increase in the patients. But the only thing is like, maybe doctor is busy. We need to understand this part. Doctor is busy for you. So in this competitive world, maybe he is chasing for something else. He has some target from the hospitals or anything. We need to understand, is the doctor really busy? Can we say this surely that doctor is not seeing Facebook or WhatsApp or messages or anything? They are spending a good amount of time over there. The only thing is like doctors are busy meeting MRs. I can take it up in this way that doctors are busy giving time to pharma physically. This can be the right answer. Just think about it. I'm not giving you a statement over here, but I'm asking you. See, same 24 hours, same patients were there, same medical representative were. What has changed? So with this digital initiatives like mobile phones and other things, maybe he is diverting his time into some other channels. Did we do anything to analyze that whether the doctor is available in other channels where he is giving us time? We need to figure it out. And if we have a strategy of omni-channel and if you have a profiling part, we can at least understand where the doctor is giving time and can we steal some time from that medium or that channel or not. This can be a good start to change the topic. We cannot always go and say doctor are busy, doctor doesn't give time. This is the time, at least from today onwards, let us think about it. Why doctors are not giving time, and if you are not giving time to us, how they are giving time to patients, how they are giving time to Facebook, how they are giving time to WhatsApp. These questions I'm leaving it to everybody. In fact, just revisit the pain area. I'm just changing the dynamics of the pain area.
Wonderful. This was wonderfully put, Saurav. I would rather extrapolate this to asking you whether doctors have stopped using phones or increased their time digitally, engagement. So that was a very pertinent question that you asked. I think we will take this up in our next sessions also and find out answers from pharma professionals themselves, your experiences that doctor is giving now time to physical visit of MR, or has he increased his digital footprint in some way? Wonderful. I'll take up the next.
Swati, I would like to put one more thing here, that we usually have a mindset that doctors are not too digitally savvy. It's a domain for engineers or that kind of technical people. But actually, if you see, doctors are becoming more digital savvy. I have seen people going to extremes. Now, in our community, like doctors community, we are the part of various doctors groups. Because we are doctors, so we are part of doctors group. The way discussions are happening there, that is totally different. There is a lot of digital element into that. So the doctors are actually very much digital savvy throughout the day. They are on WhatsApp, they are on Facebook, they are on Instagram, the younger doctors, and they are using everything. So we need to target them with the right strategy. That is the only thing.
Yeah, thank you so much. Let me take up next question from Mr. Raman Khepar. Mr. Raman, if you are there, please unmute. Please unmute. I'll take up your question, but you can have a discussion over it. He is asking, crucial is how do we integrate different channels to deliver seamless omni-channel market strategy?
Yeah, he's there. I think he can.
Hi, Swati. Hello, everyone. I hope I'm audible.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Swati, this is not a question. Actually, this is more of a comment. I think when we talk about digital marketing, we normally get too generic in terms of talking about basic channel like email, SMS, websites and all that stuff. But it's very important for marketeers to understand how do we integrate these channels. So when we have a strategy for the brand for the year, we need to understand how do we integrate the channel, where the channel fit into the overall strategy of the brand. Omni-channel might, look a big buzzword otherwise, People just need to understand where the customer is, which channel he is using. If the person is putting a multiple channel into the in strategy, like email, SMS, or a webinar or something, he should understand whether the doctors are there to attend that. If the doctors are seeing the same content on different channels, I think that's the point which I just wanted to make. The seamless integration of channels as per the requirement of the doctor is the key to make this omni-channel strategy. Thank
Right.
you.
Absolutely right. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Raman, for your inputs. And I'll take up now the next question. How this is important from Mr. Brajesh. He's asking, how do you see the role of customer excellence team, marketing team, and sales training team in omni-channel marketing? The roles of these three teams: customer excellence, marketing, and sales training team. Which particular function has vital role in driving omni-channel marketing?
So customer excellence team will be having a better and a wider scope over here, because I think those team, the customer excellence, were focusing on the experiences for the customers and how the customer is behaving or reacting to our business. So these are the teams which are the strategy part, they create the strategies. So they will be driving the show with the other teams, in fact. So when you are going ahead with the omni-channel communication, it is something like we are at least present in multiple channels. Suppose, for an example, 5 to 6 channels. There should be, I'm like, going forward, there is definitely a need of omni-channel communications or omni-channel team managers, or a team specifically in pharma, which, if you go ahead with a job profile, so now Pfizer's and along with that GSK and I suppose DRL has already put up jobs in LinkedIn for omni-channel project managers and omni-channel marketing experts. So these are the jobs which are getting created over here. So definitely a different team can be there to manage the omni-channel strategies and manage the project executions, as well as the tools and applications which are there to manage the omni-channel part. Rather than that, if you already have a strategy team, a customer excellence team, those team can also be pivotal into setting up the expectations of the market and putting it in the right strategies also.
Thank you. Thank you, Saurav. I'll take up a question from LinkedIn. There are a lot of questions coming on LinkedIn from Mr. Prashant Menon. This was asked, for a young company, if they need to consider omni-channel options for a young company, what would be the first 3 that you will recommend for them to test and feel confident?
First 3 channels, in fact?
Yes, Saurav. Young company, and they are considering an omni-channel option.
This is a clever question from Prashant sir. In fact, like they want me to name any particular platform. It is all about your convenience. I will be rather putting it up. Suppose there are multiple channels as of now. WhatsApp is there. Everybody is comfortable in WhatsApp. Let us understand. Our patients are comfortable in WhatsApp. Doctors are comfortable in WhatsApp. And pharma people are also comfortable in WhatsApp. But major thing is like everybody is messaging from their own number, and there is no chances of having a unified communications. So here the first point to start with a small company or a new company will be WhatsApp APIs or WhatsApp broadcasting, having a single number which can be used within the team. That single number can be a brand number or a company number, and everybody is getting a stake over here, and one manager who is managing the WhatsApp API parts. So this feature is already available in WhatsApp, and that can be integrated. The second comfortable things will be email. Email, although many of us will be saying that email read rates are very less, but email is a cheaper way for your recall. In fact, if a person, the habit formation part, if I'm saying, in your inbox, if there are 10 messages, you are not reading them, you are not deleting them also. This is a habit until unless your mailbox are full. If they are not opening the mail, the read rate will be lesser. but they're seeing your subject line and the subject line is catchy, and if it is trendy and if it has your brand, then there is also a recall part. So let us not underestimate and judge that email opening rates or read rates are very less. Rather than that, let us go ahead with a strategy for putting it up in emails. SMS, definitely that is not in use because there are multiple SMS now going ahead. So SMS can be slowed down, in fact, and it can be only on the transactional part, no promotional SMS at this point of time. And rather than that, when you come to social media channels, Facebook, Instagram, along with that LinkedIn, these three I will be suggesting as per your capacity. Prashant sir, I have given this answer, and this was my personal agenda because these are the platform very popular and majority of the users and customers are there in this platform. Later on going forward, you can have multiple more channels coming into your omni-channel strategy part.
And I think that can be developed only after the CXO part gets done, the customer experience with your message on these three channels, right, Saurabh?
Yes, true.
I'll take a few comments, discussions from LinkedIn, which are happening. This is from Mr. Rajesh Sharma, GM at Repticos. He is saying, I feel the most important step is to institute and inculcate omni-channel mindset in the organization.
Very true.
I completely agree. And he also adds that building a mindset is a long, arduous journey, which can be pretty frustrating for organizations looking for generating instant revenues. Yeah, right. Thank you, Mr. Rajesh, for reiterating the things that it is not about a short-term revenue goal, that you will start doing omni-channel thing and you will set a target related to that. I'll take up more questions. Mr. Rushabh has been interacting and putting a lot of comments. Mr. Rushabh Vikmani, if you are there, you can directly interact. Mr. Rushabh? Okay.
Yeah, now I'm able to unmute. First of all, I was not able to unmute, but thanks a lot, Dr. Swati, and I would say the entire PharmaState Academy. I think it's one of the very good discussions that we had in the recent past. And thanks to Dr. Saurav sir also. So my question was more into, sir, that nowadays more Indian companies and even all big pharma companies, big MNCs are already into digital, to various mediums like microsites or into email marketing or SMS marketing. And so how as a pharma company or how as a PMT or a product management team, we should approach these particular channels to be differentiated and able to create a difference so that more doctors do come and visit our probably microsites or our channels.
Okay, so when you are going ahead with a differentiated factor, so it is not about creating an entire new Instagram or a new Netflix or something. So it is something like you are thinking of going ahead with a different mindset. It is just adapting to the ecosystem, in fact. So when phone came, right, it is something like nobody thought of like they will be going ahead with a different mechanism. Everybody was like, okay, we have a landline, we have a number, we will be calling it. Similarly, when mobile came, so we had options. But the question is, being a company, only if we have a money, we don't want to showcase that we are out of the box. Omni-channel part, when we are talking about it, it is something like making yourself proactively available in front of your customers. If the customers are wanting to discuss with you or wanting to reach you. So first and foremost thing at this point of time will be making yourself available in like different platforms. One part is your content. So content is the driver of eyeballs, in fact. So just think yourself as a customer. When you are going ahead with Facebook, after every 3 posts, you will be seeing an advertisement, but not every advertisement you will be clicking or you will be waiting to watch it. You will be scrolling it. But there will be some advertisement which is, creative, which is engaging, and which is something like you stay there, whether you take a decision or not, buying decision I'm talking about it, but you stay there to watch that video or watch that content part. Why? Because out of it may be of your interest, it may be of your concern, it may be a similar product or maybe a competitor product. So whatever the thing is, like, it is about your interest part. So when you are going ahead with multiple channels, and imagine a scenario where all, like, maybe thousands of the companies are already there in multiple platforms, they're trying to communicate with the same customers. There can be the differentiator will be the content and the mindset, actually the design thinking, in fact, which you are putting up in your contents. That will be the differentiator. Phase one, you just focus on that part.
Yeah, I hope that question was answered. In this phase, we will have to be there, and right, Saurabh?
Yes, yes. So being there is not an option now. It is a mandate, because at least people are searching for you in multiple, and we don't know where people will be searching us, and we don't know like how people will be communicating with us. So being there is important, and not only being there, but at least proactively tracking that who all are communicating. You cannot see, suppose a customer or doctor is coming to Twitter and pinging you, and you are not taking any actionable item at that point of time for 3 hours, 4 hours. The doctor will have a mentality that, okay, they have a Twitter account, but they are not responding on Twitter. So I will be going ahead with Google messagings, or maybe I can go ahead with the Facebook messaging. And similarly, if you are not addressing to that query over that platform also, a doctor will never come back to your business asking that, that mindset will happen, that these people are not responding to us. So it is similar to the physical world when some doctors is expecting something. Only thing is, like, what is the difference? In physical world, the customer give us some time to revert back. They anticipate that, okay, there will be some lag in the response, and they will be coming in the next visit and giving us. But in digital, they want it instantly.
Agreed, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, Mr. Kamal Joshi, you can ask the question.
Hello.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Kamal. Yeah, Mr. Kamal, please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, we can.
Yeah,
we can
so
hear you.
sir, as we are discussing about the various channels, so can you just have some data, or can you just brief us about your experience? Like, since COVID, it was a telemedicine which was at a peak. Now, currently, what is the status and how doctors are responding to it?
See, unlike pharma, IT people are actually the new buzzword. So we are enjoying the doctor's time. To be very honest over here, it is a public forum. I will not be exposing much of the data, but believe me, MyRx as a company, we have more than 5,000 doctors using our platform at this point of time, and we have not visited anybody physically. We have not visited physically. Entire thing was digitally, and we have seen this since last 5 years. Customers are repeating, and day by day our engagement is getting better and better through digital part, due to the services also, right? Because we are into the services which help them grow their business. You are also into the services of that part, but the only thing is, like, we, being a new company, can adapt to the processes, to the technology, because we are a digital first company, in fact. So we have seen doctors, like, the average platform users time is somewhat around 3.5 hours to 4 hours daily. So we have subtle way to communicate with the doctors. We generally take it to the surveys, to the feedback, some questions during their work, during their free time. So we generally put it up as a pop-up into the system, and they revert, and we have that data collected with us so that we understand, we know our customer better. But believe me, this 5,000 doctors, we are able to get good amount of time, and it is something like we not calling them, rather they calling us to our call centers, and they are at least discussing with our agent for minimum 20, 25, 30 minutes. And the majority of the communication is happening at the night time, in fact. So 55 to 60% communications are happening from 8 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the midnight. Some communications are happening in 2 to 2:30. So that is the reason we have deployed more staffs in the evening hours, in the night shift and day shift. When the doctor is busy, we just try to help him in the applications of the smooth operations, office prescription writer and other applications of MyRx, which they are using it. But Kamalji, very nice question to ask. To be very honest, I have not met a single doctor as of now. Yes, Zoom meeting, video calls, phone calls, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Quora. So these are the different mediums which we have been using it, and we are now 5,000 customers strong.
Thank you, Saurabh. I think Mr. Kamal was also asking about telemedicine and all. This is just, I think, a medium. So for patients and doctors to communicate. So any inputs over there, Saurabh?
The telemedicine, yeah. So when the COVID came, we have immediately seen a surge of teleconsultations. Many doctors were continuously asking for teleconsultations and applications, and that time was really packed for us. But gradually, after the second wave, after the third wave, the teleconsultation has fallen down, and now patients are more comfortable with the physical visit as well as the doctors are visiting. So what we can say, we have seen a dip of almost 80 to 85% of dip in teleconsultation from our platform. But still, the recurring cases, the geriatric cases, and along with that, some chronic cases, but diabetic one. So these are the fields where, dermatology also. These are the field where teleconsultation is still working. And for the repeating customers, at least teleconsultation is happening for the doctors, for our doctors.
Right. So that knee-jerk reaction was there with many organizations during COVID, and many people, we all had that reaction. But teleconsultation is just a part of the whole digital strategy. It is not to be taken as the whole strategy, the strategy at itself that we will go all teleconsulting once in a while. Okay, before ending up today's sessions, I'll ask you sort of few things. You have been there in the IT field, and you have seen the transition of banking from physical to digital. And now we all know how banking works. There were a lot of, there was a lot of apprehension when banks were getting digital, and the people were saying that jobs will be lost.
So you were asking about the rejections, the resistance actually from the people side.
Yeah, there was there, and they were saying that, okay, jobs will be lost. Ab hum kya karenge? That emotion was there. But finally, today you have more jobs in banking sector, different skill set people, but they are there.
Jobs.
Yeah, 42% more. You are the better person to tell us the data, and but with a different skill set, having banking knowledge plus a different skill set also. So if you can briefly tell us what happened there, because pharma is for sure going through a transitioning phase, and I think that thing will help all of us here listening to this.
It has already started, Swati. As we rightly see the job market, we generally see what all are the different skills getting required from the job market part. We continuously follow the Google Jobs along with that other job portals to understand, how market is changing, what all are the jobs changing. Let me take you to 12 years back. In fact, 2007, 2008, in fact, when I was actually working with SBI project, and along with that, some legacy government project, BSNL Telecom was seeing a complete transformation digitally, wherein all the legacy systems, everything was getting changed. Almost 30 to 35 new applications, ERP applications were getting placed. And BSNL being one of the largest employers and having a strong union, in fact, we have seen a lot of resistance from the existing people saying that no, our jobs will be lost, and there has been many people taking the VRAs and going back, but still the digital was implemented because it was not by it was not by any mandate or any choice, but it was not an option anymore. It was something like customers were not willing to wait. There were competition from the private players. the Airtels and the Vodafones, and that time Jio was not there, but there were some Estel, Indicom. So there were multiple companies which were coming with more aggressive digital strategies. So that is the reason like this companies has to change. They changed the applications. There were resistance in the beginning, but they were thinking that the job will be lost and like they will be unemployed, in fact. But the question is that the point is nobody was actually unemployed rather than those who were resistant to learn. So when a technology is coming, see, this is something very interesting. We don't have a basic phone right now. We all changed with the technology, like we have smartphone and we are going ahead with 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20, 30, 1 lakh, 2 lakh, 3 lakhs phone, just to keep it on our phone. And we are very comfortable with the technology. But when it comes to work, just think about it. When it comes to work, we are resistant about it that no, this will happen, this will not happen, this will do or anything. Believe me, industry in the complete world, pharma and healthcare is the last industry to get digitally transformed. And the transformation has started. This is now itself, it is happening. Skills, definitely it is changing. This, see, I'm not saying that MR jobs will be lost, but MR jobs will be elevated. No need of going after repetitive work when automation can take care of it. Now, the majority of the task, let us take an example of a company which has started only in one state. The target is like going ahead to the doctor and giving you a visual aid and saying that doctor, this is this, this is this, this is this, and please write. And then discussing about the relationship. We all know that how it is happening. Does the MR is enjoying that part? Why we are not thinking of elevating it? When automations are there, suppose, I'm giving you a classic example. When in the previous time, just take us 15, 20 years back, asking money, we all have a self-respect. Suppose we were in a business, we were supposed to ask money to any customer. It was so obviously hurting them. They used to say, "Are bhaiya 15 din baad le lena, 2 din baad le lena, I will be giving it up." So there was a hesitance at the resistance to ask money also. Just imagine, once this online payment are there, all these automations and emails are there, all these mechanisms are there, which keeps on continuously asking that your payment is due, you have to do this. So before this part also, we were lagging on the telecom bills, we are going to the bank and standing in the line to pay bills, but now this digital has transformed everything. Pharma will definitely see the transformations. Pharma jobs which are currently in practices will be elevated. This is for sure. Digital has always elevated the scope, and believe me, jobs are not going to cut down. Monotonous jobs will be cut down, and there will be multiple other jobs getting created. In banking sector, in telecom sector, I'm just giving an example. Those people who are thinking the jobs will be cut down, now banking sector has 42% more jobs than 10 years. So pharma is here to stay. Let us focus on the science behind the medicines. Let us focus on the communication part. Let us focus on the new generation technology. Let us adapt the technology. Let us have that mindset. Once we have that, technologies are there, consultants are there, people are smarter. We are definitely smarter. Technology is smart, but people are definitely smarter than that if they have a learning and adoption attitude, in fact. So, okay, enough of motivation part, but the fact is pharma job are going to change. This will not be the monotonous job. Be ready for that, be updated and be adaptable, in fact. That is the only way out.
Thank you, Saurav, for putting this. I wanted this story to come out because there are a lot of queries coming in that related to jobs, related to skill sets. And also I wanted to update the audience here that we have created a course related to digital and pharma. It is called Digi Pharma Pro. And here we will be taking the participant, the enroller, to the journey in digital that is happening in pharma. You will be updated on a lot of digital tech in pharma. And this course is getting launched in August, and stay tuned for that course also. That will be one of the things that you can utilize for skilling yourself up and joining the journey, digital pharma journey. Abhishek, you have raised hand. You want to, if you want to interact, you can.
Actually, yeah, I had like a final question, Saurav sir. Uh, it's like I wanted to know what are the critical success factors for omnichannel marketing, and like the impediments we face. Like as you said, infrastructure is one of the impediments we face in launching a omnichannel strategy or a process. So, are there any other challenges which we face in omnichannel, especially related to field force, like training them on this omnichannel
No,
strategy?
trading another thing will definitely flow, and this is a new age technology which the already they emerge, assuming that many of them are already using the same platforms for their personal use. The only thing is like they will be using a company account, or now it is something like they will be using it for work. So training will not be a major challenge, but yeah, the major challenge will come after some days of implementing omnichannel, because when you are omnichannel, like when you are present in different platforms, what happens is like there is a message going to the customer that they can search you in different platforms. Till that time happen, what generally happen is like this is actually a real life example which I'm giving you in case of Tata Indicom, in fact. So Tata being good, in fact, they establish all the infrastructures, everything, but suddenly they saw that like nobody is communicating with them on the strategies, so they suddenly stop pushing contents and being available on those platforms. And after some time, when the customer supports were there and customer issues were there, they were trying to communicate back with the business through those channels, which happened 9 months or 10 months down the line. But at that point of time, there were no staffs or other people to address it. So immediately there was a high level meeting. I still remember that day. So immediately they asked us to come and they asked us to deploy the people so that at least they can start communicating it. So don't expect that the communication frequency will be same every day. Don't expect that you are on all the channels that so that all the doctors will be immediately coming and searching your company name and talking to you. The major thing is, what I can say is consistency. If at all you are not getting results now, it does not mean that this channel is not working for you. You have to be patient. You have to be consistent in your efforts for different channels, and certainly when your customer will be knowing that you are also available in this platforms, the chances of him coming over here and communicating with you increases with the time. So it is a time taking process. It is also a costly affair. The applications and the technologies are definitely not very cost effective at this point of time if I'm concerned with the technology part. So it required capital, it required infrastructure, it required consistency, and it required humans to drive it also. So a specific team to drive it. So these are the four things which you need to figure out, which you need to keep it in your mind before a successful implementation of a omni-channel strategies.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Abhijit, for asking those questions. Thank you, Saurav, for answering them beautifully. Abhijit, you seem to be from IT. I don't know, but very tech-related questions, very highly tech-related. Thank you so much for asking, and all the participants who joined us today. At the end, we would be giving, 5 one-to-one sessions with Saurav Das on omni-channel strategy. If you have any questions or want to discuss omni-channel strategy with Saurav, you can book those sessions. We will put the links in the WhatsApp group. There are only 5 sessions, and during the next week only you can book it and consult with Saurav on the omni-channel strategy thing. I would request the senior people who are designing the omni-channel strategy to please book those sessions and get the benefit out of these 5 sessions that we are giving. So thank you so much.
Swati, just to add, 5 people, those who are giving is as a group, pharmaceutical companies, not individuals. No?
Yeah. So they should be representing their company.
Yes.
Right. Thank you for adding it. And thank you, Saurav, for taking up the questions. Thank you, dear participants, for interacting and asking relevant questions here. All of them were relevant today. And we all learned from the interactions more than what Saurav presented, I think, Saurav. So interactions are very, very important. And that is why we gave more than half time of this session to interactions only. Saurav, you want to say something before we log off?
No, I have said enough. In fact, I have taken enough time. It's already 1.5 hours. Thank you very much for joining us on Sunday. and Omnichannel is there to stay. Please try to discuss within your teams when you are going back Monday, and try to figure out. And if you are stuck up in anything, we would be happy to help you out in your omnichannel strategies part. And we would love to see people and companies and brands available in multiple platforms, and all the platforms working seamlessly, and the communication gap is getting eliminated through technologies. So this is what I would like to rest the sessions, and wishing you a very happy weekend. In fact, it's now hardly some hours left before we start working on Monday. Thank you very much, and see you again next month, third Sunday, with another topic. We will be waiting for you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Saurav. So, dear participants, just one request: whenever these sessions are happening, we will be sending you Zoom links to the registered mail IDs and in WhatsApp group. But I also request you from today, please forward those links and ask your team members to register also, so that you can have a healthy insight, and then you can discuss it among yourselves also, how the strategy has to be implemented or whatever points you need to. So that's the request from our side, so that the benefit of these sessions reaches more people and more people join us in the next 8 sessions. One more information: all the sessions are recorded and put up as courses at PharmaState Academy platform. So if you want to revisit the session, the earlier sessions also, and more sessions also, they are all available at PharmaState Academy. We will be sending you the feedback form, the certificates also. And at the end, I'll take up a comment from Mr. Amit Verma, who was there at LinkedIn watching us. And that is the closing comment for today. Understanding HCP's channel or content preferences and delivering it at a time of their choice should be the key consideration for omni-channel strategy. There is no perfect solution for omni strategy. One needs to take small steps with a clear vision of what you want to achieve. Thank you, Mr. Amit Verma, for being there at LinkedIn with us. And thank you all the participants who joined us today at Zoom. Looking forward to hosting you again in the next session. Stay connected.
Thank you. Thanks.
Thank you. Bye. And we are ending the session. Do not forget to fill the feedback form. It really helps. So I'm just posting that as a link in the group, in the chat box. So please just click over it, and then you can end the session. Yeah, that's done. Thank you so much. Now we are ending the session. Bye.